G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today, well, we're going to be checking out these awesome Aomway Commander goggles, and I tell you what, straight off the bat, Fatshark definitely has some competition. So what this video is, I'm all about getting new FPV options out there because investing in a pair of goggles is so expensive but is such a crucial part and such a big investment in this hobby, and you want to get it right. So you guys are going to love this video. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be sticking these on the bench. These are the Aomway Commanders. Sticking them on the bench, breaking them down, having a bit of a look at them, and then most importantly, taking them out to the field, flying around with them, filming some reactions and sort of talking about how they go when you're actually flying and they're actually sitting on your face. And we'll also get Grumpy Trev on there as well because I know he absolutely loved these things and had some very non-grumpy things to say. Anyway, I know you guys want to see it, so I'm going to stop rambling. Let's stick them on the bench and get started with the Aomway Commander goggles. Alright, let's do it. Deal with it. Anyway, let's do it. Alrighty, so here they are on the bench. They come in a nice little box, and we're going to get rid of the boring parts straight out of the way because no one's really interested in those. So of course we've got our instruction manual. You get a spare piece of foam. You get a little AV cord which you can plug in. We'll talk about in a little bit. And then, yeah, let's get on to the good stuff. So we've actually got the unit itself right here, which I must admit is very, very light. And you get two antennas and a little sort of like a battery cable as well, because that's one thing to point out. You don't actually get a battery when it comes to these, so we're going to talk about this as well. Now the two antennas you can get, of course this is a diversity headset, so like what I'm pretty much running on my Fatsharks anyway, you can run diversity on these bad boys. But the interesting thing is we've got a patch antenna over here which is going to be great, so that's going to give us some good range and good penetration. But we've also got a little dipolar. Now I don't mind dipolar antennas, but I don't want one on my goggles, but so I think that would have been better with a circular polarized antenna. And Aomway makes some great CP antennas, so I don't know why they actually included this one in the little kit. But no biggie, because I can simply put one of the ones that I've already got in there, maybe a Triumph or something like that. Anyway, let's jump in and have a bit of a closer look at this awesome little unit. Alrighty, now the first thing I want to do, let's weigh them because I'm going to compare them to my HDV2s, which I fly with all the time. So sticking the HDV2s on here, we'll just wait for my scales to tear off. There we go. So that's coming in at 237 grams. Now take your guesses because this is exactly the same. Everything's the same. This pretty much has the same, I guess. It's got a diversity receiver in here. It doesn't have a battery. This doesn't have a battery. So take your guesses. Let's have a guess how much this one is. So this one's coming in at 167 grams, and that really is massive. That's 168 grams. There we go. That is one of the reasons why I think these goggles have done something fantastic. Look, I never really thought about it much before, and I thought they were much comfier than most of the other goggles, but these things, they are so light. They feel amazing on your face. So a massive, massive weight saving on here, and that's really important because if you're going to be flying all day and doing some big sessions, these things feel fantastic, and that's exactly what you want. You want a goggle that you don't have to worry about and it's not distracting, whereas it's not taking away from the flying experience. It's just helping immerse you in the quad, and that's exactly what these do. Now let's have a bit of an overlook on how it comes. So of course we've got our diversity receiver, which is here, and that's fantastic like I spoke about before, so you can attach like a high gain antenna and also a circular polarized antenna right there. And I must say it's a pretty sensitive receiver as well. I didn't notice any dropout jumping around between the two. So yeah, I really like the receiver that they've got inside here. It's great. We can record straight. We can record some DVR straight in right here. So we've got a little DVR port. I'm going to hold this around the other way actually, otherwise I'm going to get confused. On this side we've got a little earphone jack if you're interested in audio. Right here is your band scanner, your frequency changer and your channel changer. This part has to do with your contrast and your picture colors and saturation, all that sort of stuff. So your brightness and your contrast and all that sort of jazz. These are actually buttons as well. Oh, there goes one of my batteries is charging in the background. Over this side I really didn't have that much more to do with because this is in charge of your head tracker over on this side, and this is also when you can play back some of your DVR. So if you lose a model and you want to watch your DVR back trying to get your bearings, you can do that with this side of the menu as well. Flipping it over, this is where I think people are going to be pretty impressed for the price as well. I mean, this thing, you can plug HDMI into this thing, so that's fantastic because traditionally that's been exclusive to some of the more expensive Fatsharks, so the Dominators, so I know the Attitudes or the Special Editions did not do this, so that's fantastic. So we've got a HDMI port over here. Right here there is a video out. Man, it is super windy outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Right here, this is where you can have a little AV out, so if you want to run it out to like an external video or something like that. Of course you've got your lens adjustments right there that you can use. In the middle, a fan, and look how neatly that one's placed in there. You don't have this big bulky thing on the top like on the Fatsharks. The fan is nicely tucked inside there, and then this is where you plug in your head tracker as well. So overall, I think they're a really nice compact goggle. I can't believe how much they've fitted in here, and also for the price. Like, it's very, I think this thing's going to take a big market share of the Fatsharks. Now, you do get 2 extra pieces of foam, and I guess one just feels a little bit stiffer than the other, but when this is on your face, this feels fantastic, and you're going to hear Grumpy Trev talk about that a lot as well. And you've got 2 little inserts here, so if you want to put some little, I don't know what they call those, image adjustments, or those little sliders if you need glasses or contacts or something like that, you can slide them in there to help you focus the image. Now, I found the image very clear. Now, speaking of the lenses inside here, you've actually got, I don't know, I think they're glass lenses, but they've got a field of view that's 32 degrees, so a little bit smaller than the Fatsharks, but I didn't notice it too much when I was flying around. And the other part, the resolution that they can rock as well is 854 by 480, so, you know, pretty good stuff right there. And then another part, yes, this doesn't come with a battery, but we all know Fatshark batteries are terrible. They're a bit of a joke in the industry. You know, they're so bad, all they did was make a case for it in the end to use other batteries with it. But this simply plugs in here, and this is one thing that makes it even more comfortable on your face. You can put any battery you like, plug its balance lead in here, whether it be a 2, 3 or 4S LiPo, plug it in here. That's going to hang on the back of your head and make for a very comfortable viewing experience. So you don't have to have that heavy battery on the outside of your head as well. I really like this pair of goggles. That's a bit of an overview, but what's most important to people, let's jump down to the field, stick them on our face, and I'm going to be comparing them directly to these when we're flying around, so you guys can find out, is this going to be the right FPV goggle for you? And we'll also give it to Grumpy Trev to try on as well, because I know he's tried on heaps of goggles. He's a massive Fatshark fan, so it's going to be very interesting to see what he thinks of the Aomways. Anyway, let's cut down to the field in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, down here in the field, about to try out these new Aomway Commander goggles for the first time, so we'll get some impressions. It's a little bit windy, but let's see how they go. Alrighty, so straight away, putting them on my face, the first thing that I want to say is they feel lighter than my Fatsharks, and a little bit more spongy around the face as well. So they feel very comfortable straight off the bat, which is great. And it is going to take a little bit of getting used to wherever you guys are. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, because it's in the 16:9 format, so that's sort of the widescreen field of view there. So not the standard 4:3. Anyway, let's fly around and see how they go. Alrighty. Yeah, so like I said, very comfortable. The colors look a little bit flat, actually. You might be able to tune that out in some of the other parts, but I'd say the colors look a little bit flat, and that could have to do with some of the chameleon camera that I'm flying around with as well. Yeah, but they feel great. Like for I don't know if Aomway's done some goggles before. I know they do great things with antennas, but these feel fantastic. Flying around, the reception seems really good. Yeah, I think if I was expecting them to feel a lot more peculiar on my face, or I was expecting them to take a little bit more to get used to, but with this I feel like just straight away, even though I'm coming from Fatsharks, they feel more natural. They feel more natural than the Sky Zones do anyway, so they feel much closer to sort of the Fatshark style or comfort level and those sorts of things, and comfort's very important. Yeah, they definitely feel very comfortable straight off the bat. Actually, the screen actually feels pretty big from left to right. It's very cinematic, and it's not, even though it's in widescreen, it's not quite as like a theater box or anything. It's the field of view actually looks a little bit bigger, so you've got a fantastic large picture to fly around with as well, so that's really cool. Very clear though. I do think it does look really clear. Ooh, almost crashed. It's got DVR going, so I'm sure I'll show you guys some of the DVR as well. Something I've noticed too, because it's got diversity, you do get this tiny little, in the top right hand or left hand corner, I'm gonna have to pay attention to see what it says, but it looks like it gives a little blue flick in a tiny little box to let you know when it's actually switching receivers, which is nice, but nothing that takes away from your flight experience or anything like that. Speaking of the diversity, like I've flown here quite a lot, and yeah, it feels very comparative to when I'm flying around with my the LaForge clones or the Real ACC diversity module. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this diversity module actually, and the reception that I'm getting. I think you're going to like these, Trevor. I think one thing people really need to ask themselves, like goggles are a big purchase, and I'm actually really happy with these, but it's the 16:9 versus the 4:3 argument that we've had so many times before. So people really need to think about what sort of flying style and what sort of aspect ratio they like, because that's probably going to be the biggest selling point. But overall, man, I think these goggles are great. Probably the biggest thing I'm taking away, the biggest difference, because the biggest difference from Fatsharks or any of the others is these feel more comfortable than my HD2s. They're like just lighter and feel nicer on my face. I think, yeah, anyway, let's get Grumpy Trev to try these out. Yeah, I really like them. Better come in for a landing. That was a lot better than I was expecting. That's awesome. All right, let's stick them on Grumpy Trev's head because I know he loves Fatshark. So let's see what he's got to say about these Aomway Commander goggles. All right, so I've given them to Grumpy Trev. He's just going to do a bit of a, what do you reckon, Trev?
Well, nice colour, better than white, orange. Look nice, light. Can't wait to try them. I'll stick them on my head.
All right, let's do it. So keep in mind, Trev loves Fatsharks, I just got to say too. All right.
Well, I've got to say, these, straight away, these are sitting really nice on my head. And with the Fatsharks, I've got to sort of pull them down on my nose a bit to sit up to get a clear picture, and not with these. That's pretty cool. I'll just adjust the
little sliders.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they feel nice.
Here's your radio. You don't even have a battery plugged in. Hang on.
I did, yes, it's plugged in. Must be,
oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, here's a charge,
I was looking at your Tyrant.
Oh no, I can fly with these. Oh yes, they're very nice. Geez, they're clear. These are clearer than my Fatsharks. I've got the those orange things. What do they call the
special edition? Special
edition ones. The colours just seem to be a bit brighter. These aren't bad. Bringing diversity as well, which you don't get as standard with a Fatshark. I reckon these guys are going to kick ass in the market. This 16.9, honestly, I'm comfortable flying with it already, and I'm pretty fussy, you know that. No, I could easy change these. Oh, they're comfortable, they really are. Like these aren't sitting anywhere near as low on my nose as the Fatsharks. Look, I really like them, and I'd recommend these every bit as good as Fatsharks, if not better, because the diversity, the price is actually around the price of a Fatshark, but you get diversity with these. Pretty good buy. You know, first impressions of these are really good.
So what would you give him, Trev, in like a grumpy Trev rating out of 10? What would you give him?
These are hot.
Okay.
They're comfortable. This the biggest part about these are really comfortable. Really cool. Comfortable. The 16.9 is not an issue for me.
Yeah, I found like it was still really immersive. Like the picture was still really big on my face. Really good field of view.
Look, the comfort. You know, they've got that right. They've actually obviously listened to someone. Be cool. I don't know about the SD card there. I'd be a bit worried about losing that, but yeah, really good. Love them. Have a look at these before Fatsharks, guys. Diversity. Don't have to spend another $150 on diversity. Already in there. They're going to kick ass on Fatshark. Absolutely. Yep. Finally got some competition.
Alrighty, so I've just been flying around with the Commander goggles, and I'm just going to go back to my Fatsharks because I didn't think these were going to be so good when I was flying around with them. So I'm going to go back to these, and already I can tell that these are heavier on my face than the Commanders. They're just so comfy. So I'm going to fly around with these and I guess do a quick little comparison, maybe 10 seconds, and see what's it like going back to the Fatsharks. Because that's what you guys want to know. Either Commander goggles versus Fatsharks. Everything's versus Fatshark. So you know what might help? I need to put a battery in. Nothing but professionals. All right, let's do it. Something that I didn't notice and I didn't pick up the first time, there was no blur on the Commander goggles. Did you find that, Trev? Did you have any blur around the edges or anything?
Clear as a bell.
Yeah, I found that as well. We're just putting these on, you know, some tiny parts are a little bit blurry. So, man, am I gonna make a switch? Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I think I didn't expect those goggles to be that good. Those Commanders, they're awesome. Rightio, so there it is. There's my review of the Aomway Commander goggles, and I definitely think Fatshark needs to watch out with this, and it's about time we got some real, not innovation, but just some other high quality product. Look, they pretty much do the same things as the Fatsharks, but the price is a lot better. You don't have to get that diversity module, awesome DVR, and to top it all off, I mean, the most comfortable FPV experience you can have. So these on your face, that was the biggest one for me. These on your face feel fantastic. Now, of course, that 16 by 9 by 4 by 3, that's going to upset a lot of people, or some people are going to be thinking about that. But overall, if you're looking for an awesome pair of goggles that's not the upper echelon of price points, I think these are fantastic value, and I definitely don't think you can go wrong with these. So these were like a fantastic surprise. I didn't think these were going to be that good. Now, a big question people want to know, am I going to make the switch? And for me, probably not, because I'm so used to flying with my HD V2s that it feels a little bit strange going to something else. But that doesn't mean, I think if I had been flying with these from the start instead of my HD V2s, I would have stuck with these. So really, that's just like a personal preference and something that my body's gotten used to, and when I'm flying, that's what I'm used to. But for somebody just jumping into the hobby and buying a first pair of goggles, they're not going to have that problem. And I think, yeah, if you got these, you would be very, very happy. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying.
You keep looking further and further away from.
Yeah, no. It's funny how you do that, don't you? Some of the listeners might even notice too that some of the times that I'm talking, I sound like I'm talking through my nose, because the Fatsharks are sitting that hard on my nose so I can actually see out properly. And they get pretty uncomfortable. They cut into your nose by the end of the day.
What do you mean listeners, Trev, like the on the wireless?
No, the listeners on YouTube.
Anyway.
See what I've got to explain to this guy? It's hard, you know.
Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page, because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAV Futures family, there's things like bonus velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.